Let me share my screen. I'm not able to share my screen.
Yeah. Okay, so let me introduce first of all. Hi Rahat, it's me Roshni, and thanks for joining us today's session on mastering open source contribution programs. As of now, most of the students lack in this open source and contributions, and how much there are many technologies to learn and to explore in this domain. So yeah, it's been a great experience of your experience and learnings of your journey. So let's extend my own gratitude towards you. So with your short intro, we can start.
Yeah, so like, can I share the screen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So hi Roshni, thanks for having me. My name is Rahat and I am currently pursuing BTech in computer science in Polaris School of Technology, just moving to my third semester. And I love open source and the people out there. I love telling people how to crack open source, which does not mean the open source is an exam. It only means the how to get in because people out there are very confused to how to start. It means that how to crack open source programs like GSOC, LFX, ho gaya, and how to make good connections out there. The crux is that how to get full benefits out there. And I've been selected as a LinkedIn top voice for open source with more than 55,000 impressions. And I have created various remote paid internship as well and open source programs as well. I'm working as a mentee under Linux Foundation mentorship program officially, but I'm a member of various open source organizations like OPA Foundation, Open Mainframe Projects, Palisades, Linux Foundation, Hyperledger. And okay. And it's like passion for open source. I would say initially it was hard to say that I love open source, but as I got into this and new opportunities came in my way, and I started loving the process. I started this journey 7 months ago, and I would say I would not say I have extensive experience, but yeah, I'm learning and working from 7 months, and I have gained some various insights about the community. After contributing to 20 plus projects or organizations and writing 3,000 plus lines of code, reviewing the code, helping people on onboarding, I gained some experience and I love to share with the community as well. And that's why this session is going right now. And strong community focus, I would say that I love the community. And it's really, the community is very, very supported out there. People out there are very supportive. They help you in any need. They don't discriminate. And that's also a reason I love the community. I have made really good connections out there in the community, whether it is top leaders around the world or brilliant minds. And that's second slide about that. And like I have been working with folks from top MNCs, and not only we work on projects, but sometimes we chill together. I record podcasts with them. I made videos with them, and I got reply from each of them, accept, which is their loving nature. And I'm very glad to have these types of connections with the help of open source, I think. And let's move to this. So should we go?
First of all, so my first question was that as many of now, as you have said, most of the people are confused, like which tech domain they have to select it on which organizations they have to contribute it. So how we can decide like which organization we would prefer to contribute as a beginner, or if anyone wants to like start their field in that particular field. So what would you suggest?
Okay, I think let's have how to choose open projects. Yeah, choosing an open source project. Start with your interests first thing. Pick what you enjoy, because just think about the topics or technologies that you are passionate about it could be web development ho gaya, data science ho gaya, game development ho gaya, kuch bhi, but that you like. And then next step is find the project in those areas. Look for open source projects related to your interest. And the reason why I'm saying this, because this will keep you motivated and make learning more fun, because the things which we are familiar with, and if we are able to work on those things, then it is not like working, it's like more fun. And then the second thing, while you are selecting a project or open source organization, just check the activity level. Look for active projects, which means that choosing project that have recent updates and active contributors. उसकी pull request section में जाओ, issue section में जाओ and see कि last issue कब resolve हुआ and कब raise हुआ है, last pull request कब resolve हुई है. So it gives us a sense कि yeah, community is active and organization is active. This ensure that project is alive and you will timely feedback and support. Avoid abandoned projects, because projects with no recent activity might not be best for beginners as they may lack guidance and support. It's like if you have raised solved a bug and am I audible?
Yeah.
So it's like if you have solved a bug, but उसको resolve उसको verify होने के लिए जो members हैं वो महीने ले रहे हैं. So it's like community भी active होनी चाहिए. That's the second part. And the third part is when you have choose a project on which you want to work. And the third step is to read the documentation, which is the most important part, because in the documentation you have how to start, how to install, how to raise pull requests, because each organization has different template to raise pull requests, to raise issues, and everything about that. So check for good documentation. Good projects have a clear and comprehensive documentation. This includes a README file, contributing guidelines, and setup instructions. And then we have ease of understanding. If the documentation is easy to follow, descriptive hai, then it's a good sign that you will have a smoother start or smoother onboarding. And the fourth is to access the community. Suppose you have just select the project and you're reading the documentation. The next part comes is to go to their whether forums हो गए, Slack, Discord, and introduce yourself. And that is where access and community came into existence. Wait on. Okay. I think you just everything is fine. Okay. And then it's like
following up one more question, in most of the case, what are the best matlab keywords practices that we should follow while writing or submitting any proposal, or like what are the steps we
oh,
have to follow for that?
okay. It's like I'm just saying in a general way, like best practices for clean code हो गया or commit message. So while you are submitting any proposal or PR or something, so clean code and clear commit messages are very essential for successful open source contributions. Here is how we can ensure that contributions are effective and appreciated. First thing is code style. The importance is that consistent coding styles makes the code base more readable and maintainable, and adhere to the project's coding style guide. We can get the like what is the coding style with the help of documentation out there, which may include convention for indentation, naming, and formatting. We can use tools like linters or formatters to automate style enforcement. And then we have meaningful commit messages. While you are raising up a request or just raising a commit, it is very important that you write clear commit messages that help out others to understand the changes and the reasoning behind them. And others, I would say testing is also important because it ensures your code work as expected and prevent future regressions. And the most important over your documentation, keep documentation up to date because it helps others to understand how to use and contribute to the project. And if something in the code base, if you're adding something that is not very specific, if it is very specific and it may cause the problem to other one to understand, then you just comment or add comment before the method or the function which you're adding that this method is useful for that, or because commenting is also important. So yeah.
Basically we have to clear about what we are making or changing and whether what we are doing. So one more question, just in GSOC and CNCF, if we compare both of them, so what are the procedures and similarities and common things while drafting a proposal for GSOC or for CNCF?
CNCF, yeah, LFX.
LFX basically,
LFX.
For that.
Okay, so talking about the GSOC, you have to start firstly select a project जो नीचे में आता है तुम्हारी, whether it is web development, mobile development, कुछ भी हो गया तो select a project, and basic criteria वही रहता है process के select a project, read documentation, local install करो, and the first hurdle came is when you are locally installing the project. Because in my time I thought I realized that I took 3 days to locally install the project, but nowadays organizations have migrated their code base to Docker, which makes the overall process very easy. You just have to run 2-3 commands in CLI and the boom, the project is locally installed. And when I was starting, it was not, at least in my organization. So it took quite much time because you need, if the Docker is not there, then you need to carefully install because dependencies का भी criteria आ जाता है. Local install हो गया, फिर जाके कम्युनिटी फॉरम में अपना आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करो. एंड वन थिंग इज दैट कि अगर लोकल इंस्टॉल करने में तुमको प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, देन हेल्प just be a sponge. Don't hesitate by asking any question. Just go to the community general section में जाओ. Just Slack या Discord में there are different sections, general section, local installation section. Just go to the local installation section and ask कि I have this problem. Screenshot भेज दो code base का कि this is the line and these are the problem that I'm facing. And it is obvious कि उन लोगों ने जितने भी projects, जितने भी Slack पे community है, किसी ने face करा होगा problem. They will really help you out and you will install the project. उसके बाद आता है introduce कर दिया. Then to solve a bug and while you are just reading documentation या code base पढ़ रहे हो, तो it is very overwhelming to see the whole code base because it's like thousands lines of code in a file. So when you see all of that, it's feel like very overwhelming. So I would say that whittle down the process. बड़े बड़े टास्क को सेपरेट कर दो. स्टार्ट विद स्मॉल थिंग्स. सो आई वुड से कि फर्स्टली डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पढ़ो. उसके बाद अगर तुम्हें कोई बग सॉल्व करना है, सो देयर आर गुड फर्स्ट इशूज देयर. फिल्टर लगाओ गुड फर्स्ट इशू का एंड गो आउट देयर. गुड फर्स्ट इशू भी गुड फर्स्ट इशू बस नाम है, मतलब कुछ तो इजी भी होता है, बट सम गुड फर्स्ट इशू नीड्स एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द कोड बेस. सो वो गुड फर्स्ट इशूज पकड़ो जो ईजी है, उसको सॉल्व करो. एंड आई थिंक कि it will require 2-3 days because new contributors की कोड को इतनी जल्दी मर्ज नहीं कर देते. It requires some verification. So good first issues पकड़ो. Make your we can say presence in the community because initially they will not assign you the issues directly.
Yeah, actually
if
many of them are already assigned to them. So बहुत ही कम chances होते हैं कि तुम represent करके without issues.
Yeah. So initially to get some we can say support out there, so good first issue पे जाओ because good first issue beginners के लिए होते हैं. So they mentors out there, they will not hesitate to assign you. In my organization, there is a criteria. If you are asking to assign an issue, then you need to give a brief solution कि इस file में इस line में मैं ये change करने वाला हूँ. Only then they will assign you the issue. And it's important because I saw people out there they get assigned the issues और हफ्ते तक वो PR नहीं आ रही है और issue भी कोई और भी नहीं कर पा रहा उसे. So it is very important if you got the solution, then only you get assigned to that issue. And उसके बाद PR रेस कर दो. और PR रेस करने के भी क्राइटेरियाज होते हैं, टेम्पलेट होता है. You need to give description about the PR के I'm changing this and what is the problem. You need to give the screenshot कि yeah, that's changes are working. and फिर PR merge हो जाती है. It is the process, and I just explain in a very layman language or briefly, and it's very vast, I would say. It take the time to merge the first pull request, लेकिन अगर पहली दो फर्स्ट या सेकंड PR merge जाती है, then it's like a smooth process. उसके बाद easily assign हो जाते हैं issues, and smoothly you are able to get the idea कि yeah. So ये हो गया. फिर उसके बाद in GSOC you have to contribute to लाइक ये दिखाने के लिए कि या जो प्रपोजल या आइडिया लिस्ट आई है गूगल समर ऑफ कोड में, उस आइडिया लिस्ट पे, उस आइडिया पे, उस प्रोजेक्ट पे यू विल बी एबल टू कंप्लीट. सो फॉर दैट जस्ट ट्राई टू सॉल्व द इश्यूज दैट रिलेटेबल टू दैट आइडिया लिस्ट और प्रोजेक्ट. तीन चार इश्यूज सॉल्व करो एटलीस्ट, उसको हो जाए कि मेंटर को कि या दिस पर्सन कैन डन द प्रोजेक्ट विद इन द टाइम
On that particular
उसके.
organization or like किसी भी organizations like किसी भी organizations के projects के हम issues assign करते हैं anyone
It is for all, anyone, it is
or
generalized. Then it comes to the proposal part, which like Google Summer of Code में half 50% chances are like for your contribution in the organization, and 50% chances are for proposals to get selected. So both are very important. In old organization that are consistent, वहाँ पे contribution ज़्यादा देखी जाती हैं, because if you are contributing, then उससे पता चल जाता है कि ये बंदा कर लेगा. लेकिन proposal से ये होता है कि timeline बताना होता है कि I will be doing this on that day, and मतलब पूरी 3 महीने में I will be able to complete the project. So it is like that. Proposal भी main part होता है. You need to submit the proposal, then proposal पे कुछ comments आते हैं, and it is not generalized, it is specific. कुछ organization जो those are very active, they comments on your proposal, they say कि yeah, you can change that, we can have it better, we can have it optimized, you can change this line. And some organizations are not very active, so you just submit the proposal and you need to wait until the results came. So it is the process for Google Summer of Code.
yeah.
And
So is
talking
the
about the Linux
format process like format is provided for the proposal, or we should have to make our own?
actually some organization have their template for proposals, while others don't have. So you can just simply use Google document, and just there is a section out there in Google document of proposal. In proposal there are 4 sections that are very important: what, how, when, and why. So इन 4 क्वेश्चन का आंसर देना होता है, and that's it. Another thing is timeline, उसको कर दो. And if the template is not given, then I would say कि there are various proposals that are published right now, that are available right now. You can just get an idea from there कि कैसा प्रपोजल लिख सकते हैं. अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थे जिसमें तुम अप्लाई कर रहे हो, उसके भी बहुत सारे प्रपोजल दैट आर पब्लिकली अवेलेबल. जस्ट सी दी प्रपोजल्स, प्रोसेस कैसे चल रहा है, एंड यू कैन जस्ट गेट एन आइडिया. ओके.
Yeah.
एंड
Yeah,
talking about
about
the
yeah.
LFX, Linux Foundation Mentorship Program, and I think it is very underrated, because when it comes to Google Summer of Code, when it comes to open source, people generally don't know about open source until and unless they just get to know about Google Summer of Code. So लोग मतलब open source को नहीं जानते. They know open source by Google Summer of Code, and they
Yeah.
think that, oh, that whole open source is just Google Summer of Code. And I think it's not that case. Open source is very vast, and these open source these programs are nothing, because people out there who are working in open source, they are literally working in MNCs, but still they are contributing to gain some to like they are working in, let's say, mobile development, but now if they wanted to shift to web development, they come to open source. Why they want to like if they to gain some experience, they come to open source. I interact daily on actually I'm onboarding member of OPA Foundation, so I get to, when someone new came to the organization, by this introducing. So I am the person जो reply देता होता है, onboarding process में help करता होता हूँ. So he like lots of folks came out from Microsoft, I would say Netflix, just saying that okay, I was working on that niche, and now I want to change and I want to work on that. So it's like yeah, it's about it. And I would say there are various open source programs, and one of them is Linux Foundation Mentorship Program. गूगल समर ऑफ कोड के अंडर भी आता है LFX, एंड LFX कंडक्ट कराता है अपना एक अलग ओपन सोर्स प्रोग्राम भी. सो अब जो अलग कराता है ओपन सोर्स प्रोग्राम, उसमें लिनक्स फाउंडेशन के अंडर आता है वो. सो दे आर सर्टेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जैसे हाइपर लेजर हो गया, ओपन मेनफ्रेम प्रोजेक्ट हो गया, NCF हो गया, क्यूबरनेट्स हो गया. सो दीज आर सम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ऑल्दो गूगल समर ऑफ कोड की जितनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं होती हैं, देर आर कॉन्स्टेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट कम्स अंडर लिनक्स ओनली. The process is very similar to Google Summer of Code. If you are familiar to Google Summer of Code, then it will not be a
Actually, I
problem.
have started. Actually, I have started and make the account on LFX mentorship, but like there are very like projects, base projects, so like confused like which one we have to choose or how I can start that. So which basically मतलब मैंने देखा था कि कैसा structure, but not able to understand like how we can proceed with next steps. Basically,
I
projects
think
and mentor design. Yeah.
LFX is quite hard, because आई वुड से कि जो जनरेशन है अभी की, जो पीपल आउट देयर टेक इंडस्ट्री है, वो मोस्टली मंच टेक की तरफ है. बट द
Yeah.
प्रोजेक्ट्स आउट देयर आर नॉट इंक्लूडिंग, लाइक सम ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट्स हैव रिएक्ट मंच टेक, बट दे आर वेरी सिलेक्टिव, एंड द पीपल जो उसको सिलेक्ट अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं, देयर आर न्यूमरस इन नंबर. सो इट इज वेरी लाइक इट इज hard to get selected on those projects, because वहाँ पे एप्लीकेशन बहुत आ रही होती हैं. And the projects are about DevOps, Kubernetes, and some projects are easy as well. So React, I would say if you are starting with open source, then start with smaller projects, smaller open source programs. जो some colleges are also starting their open source program. JWOC हो गया, Hacktoberfest हो गया. It is very popular nowadays. Start with those projects, and then अगर अगर LFX में कंट्रीब्यूट ही करना है, then just choose a project out there, go to their GitHub and see कि what are they working on. If any of the project, if any of the section in the project is on one stack, then contact the mentor कि yeah, I would be love to work on this project. And I would say the process of submission in LFX is quite simple as well as tough भी है थोड़ा, but कि firstly you need to submit your resume, and I would say tailor your resume in a way कि it will relate with the project. उसके बाद एक कवर लेटर देना होता है. दिस कवर लेटर समथिंग लाइक कि प्रपोजल हो गया गुजू सॉक का, जिसमें तुम टाइमलाइन वगैरह भी दे रहे हो और आई वुड बी एबल टू कंप्लीट द प्रोजेक्ट. एंड कभी कभी प्रोजेक्ट्स में रिक्वायरमेंट भी होती है पीआर की, कि यू नीड टू सबमिट 2 PR, उसके बाद ही तुम अप्लाई कर सकते हो. उसके बाद इफ योर एप्लीकेशन गेट सबमिटेड और गेट एक्सेप्टेड, एक ईमेल आएगा फॉर आई वुड से इंटरव्यू होगा तुम्हारा. इफ यू पास द इंटरव्यू, देन यू विल बी एक्सेप्टेड एज एन एंटी. इट इज दैट अबाउट LFX.
So yeah, thanks for that. And last question is that in your journey of contributing, like what are the challenges you might have faced, or if a beginner can face, and how we can overcome that in any like in resume part section or in submitting for an interview at all.
It's for overall process. It's for open source or like
Yeah,
this
open source and for cracking
open.
internships as well, remote internships also, if you can just
I
little bit.
I think yeah, just start with open source. Remote internship लगी जाती है, like, because if you are contributing to open source, then it also
Yeah.
improve your portfolio, because people out there they are really considering open source, because एक unpaid internship करने के वजह you are just contribute to that popular open source organization, gain some experience, write in the resume कि I am a contributor in that. And not only contributor, if you constantly contributing to the project, then you just get team में you are just get into the team. There are different teams, like as corporate have release team, DevOps team. So you just get in the team. उसके बाद if you are really contributing very good, then you will be able to become a member of that organization, and that's the best part, if you are able to become a member, to show in your resume. So it is how you can improve your resume. Just the main crux of the conversation is to contribute in the open source. And the challenges I faced, I already told you that local installation first challenges that you face, और उसका solution ये हो सकता है that just be a spawn, ask the community, and keep asking until and unless you got your answer. And second challenge is to find issues. उसका good first issue ढूंढो that comes into your niche. उसके बाद उसको solution देके उसको merge करा दो. And then challenges तो आते ही रहते हैं while contributing. 2 PR डाल दी, 3 PR डाल दी, and when you are assigned to a big issue, and sometimes it's like ये नहीं हो रहा है, but keep contributing, because sometimes what happens कि you are working on things and they get accumulated on top of each other, and you're not able to see the results. But it's important to keep contributing, because after a certain saturation point you will be able to see the results. And people out there just get disappointed that they're not able to see the results. I would say that contribute. It is helping in any way. If you're contributing, it is get accumulated and you will be able to see the results. So yeah, it's like this. You can contribute to open source, improve resume.
Yeah, according to you, like currently, what are the tech stacks that are mostly trending, and what we have to follow, like MERN, as you have said, what that was underrated, and mostly it uses uses MERN or actually in that field domain. So if anyone wants to switch, or like I'm personally a MERN developer, but yeah, I am just learning SEO, cloud, and AWS. So basically, if what are the trend goes on, and if you are like working, so you know better about the organizations and techs.
I would say कि मन बहुत ज़्यादा overcrowded हो चुका है. Like although it is in trend, but people out there are very high in number. So opportunities है, but जो top पे है उसी को opportunities मिल रही है, because I saw people who are really working hard, but they are still not able to crack internship or placement as well. So I would say there are numerous other things as well. I would say artificial intelligence is one of the things. Start with that. And the thing on which I'm working is DevOps. It is also quite in hype right now. Automation हो गया, testing हो
Is
गया.
DevOps easy, like, or hard? Like someone, like most of them was like saying like, no, DevOps is like tougher than tougher. Like, isn't it like
I,
or this way?
I would say if you like it, then it's not tough. Start with
Yeah,
easy things, because DevOps के अंदर भी tough चीज होती है, easy चीज होती है, मन stack की तरह. So start with
because
easy
मतलब
task,
मैंने
like
जब मैंने like roadmap जब देखा था तब like it was like in Jenkins, and we have to like many tech stacks that we have to learn, then we can like clear for that DevOps. Like मतलब हमें सारी tech stacks आनी चाहिए, then we will be a like DevOps engineer, or like मतलब किसी भी like एक दो भी tech stacks आती है, we can continue with that.
I think that you cannot directly opt DevOps. You need to have experience of programming languages. Just get some tech stack, उसका थोड़ा experience हो जाए. उसके बाद DevOps में सही है, because directly it is very overwhelming. You will be just when you will be listening terms like Jenkins, CI/CD pipeline,
Yeah.
automation, then it's still like क्या है ये. So to get something like from that, you just learn some tech stack. JavaScript हो गया, because I think JavaScript is quite in hype right now. JavaScript, Python is very useful in DevOps, because automation and everything out there is based on Python. GitHub Actions हो गया, CI/CD pipelines हो गया. Python is very useful. So Python is very important if you want to get in DevOps. Python, JavaScript, TypeScript. These are the top 3 I would say to get into the DevOps.
Yeah. Okay, so last I would say like any like your guide or for the like I'm third year, so like right now I am like basically focusing on DSA also. Like most of the students like me, DSA is like hyperware body analytics and product based something. So what would you prefer, like web development or in DSA? What we can balance, like how we can balance that?
I think DSA is very
What do
important
you have?
because DSA is most important because it improves our problem solving skill. And whether it's any interview कुछ भी हो गया DSA पूछा ही जाता है because if your problem solving skills are good, then you will be able to opt any of the tech stack or anything out there. So like companies के अंदर different tech stacks होते हैं, so they cannot ask you questions about those tech stacks. So instead of those tech stacks, they ask you questions about problem solving. If you're able to solve problems, then you can easily opt anything. So I would say both are important, but DSA is quite important. In first year you just can focus like at least like थोड़ा बहुत problem solving skills improve करो, then open source करो and keep the process on, and you will be able to crack the more paid internship and anything.
Yeah, sure. And if I would like to just like as socially like if I am apply this year for LFX, so what are the timings and for that timings
I
to apply
think
like
term one has been completed और term two summer fall it will start in September because हमारे projects August में खत्म हो रहा है. तो in September you can apply and just choose a project just that comes into your niche. उसमें just I would say कि apply to a hard project instead of easy project. ऐसे project में apply करो जिसको पर्दे में से ही डर लग रहा है. Just apply on those projects because the percentage of people applying there is very less, and it is very underrated thing that I'm saying कि apply on hard projects because people usually apply on easy project.
choose
I would
easy?
say
Yeah.
कि choose hard projects because people out there are very less. React को तो सभी अप्लाई कर रहे हैं बट
Mhm.
जेनकिंस वगैरह को कोई नहीं कर रहा. तो यू कैन लाइक अगर उसमें कोई एप्लीकेशन नहीं आई है जेनकिंस वगैरह में, यू कैन शो योर रिएक्ट स्किल्स एंड यू कैन से दैट आई विल लर्न इन द प्रोसेस एंड आई कैन कंट्रीब्यूट. सो या इट इज हाउ यू कैन स्टार्ट इट.
Okay, so it's been a great session as timing was also almost done. So
या
I would like to stop here and we'll meet soon with further topics also. Would love to connect.
या
Hi.
if anybody wants to gain some insight, just follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I'm just posting content on there out there, and thank you for
yeah.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajat. Thank you.